So would you please welcome NigelWaller. Come on out, Nigel.
Good morning, everyone. As Andrew was saying, the title of this session is Mind Shifts. I'm going to change the way that you think about the mobile phone. Now, I imagine most of you have a mobile phone in your hand. And I know Andrew's busy waiting for one of them to ring. Now, imagine how it would be if you didn't own a mobile phone. Imagine if you had one phone amongst the whole of your family. Now, that's the situation for a family that I went to go visit in Kibera in Kenya. The father of the family, Mimoso, he runs a carpentry business and he has a mobile phone. His wife uses the same phone to connect with a local social co-op. And the daughter in the family uses it to contact a boyfriend, who Mimoso doesn't like. So you can imagine the conflict that's there. You can imagine the difficulty of those members of the family to conduct individual social lives. Now, I hear you thinking, well, maybe this is just tens of people or hundreds of people. And I've been in this industry traveling around the world for over 20 years. And up until 6 years ago, I thought exactly the same thing. I thought I'd been visiting developing countries. But then I went to a little village near Limpopo, near the border of Zimbabwe, about 6 years ago. And a friend of mine introduced me to what really happens. And I was amazed by it. And after 4 years of thinking about it, I came up with some thoughts. So firstly, there are 1 billion people in this world today sharing phones. There's 3.5 billion people that have a mobile phone or SIM, but there's another billion sitting below that. These 1 billion people live on an income between $1 and $2. They live in 50 countries around Africa and Asia, and they spend an astonishing 5 to 30% of their income on mobile phone services, and yet they don't own a phone. So I hear you saying, well, okay, but what's the benefit of all this? So there's a lot of research that's been done in the industry about the benefit of mobile phones on rural poverty. And I've done some of my own research. I've worked out that for every mobile phone in the hands of one of these people, you can reduce cost savings by $6 a month per person and increase their earnings potential by $5. Now, what's stopping us, distributing lots of mobile phones out there to these 1 billion people? Well, obviously, a lot of us are in the hands of the mobile operators that are out there. And the biggest problem is handset costs. That single handset that those 1 billion people don't have is the equivalent of you buying a handset for $5,000 here. That's the equivalent price of a $25 handset. It's a huge barrier to entry, as I can hear you thinking. And then obviously, to these mobile operators, these customers are low revenue. They're not that interested in them, because ultimately the operators want to make a profit. So with that in mind, 2 years ago, I had the Spark. And the Spark went along like this. Today, you can access email from any computer anywhere in the world. All the functionality is in the cloud. Why can't you do the same thing with a mobile phone? Why are you restricted to having the mobile phone and all that functionality in that device that you're holding? Why can't we put that mobile phone up in the cloud? And that was the Spark that we came with. So how this affects Mimoso here is that him and his family can each have independent lives. They can each have their own mobile phone number. And the technology that we've developed over the last 2 years enables him to have that mobile phone number and yet access it from any account on any phone anywhere. And how does this affect the operators? Well, we've run business models now that shows that there is money to be made here. These people can bring in revenue for the mobile operators. So what we've been doing is we've been working with the mobile operators, the local communities, NGOs, universities, in putting our model and our social economic system together. We're now ready to go. We've been proven. We've been running in mobile labs in South Africa now for the last couple of months. And only this morning, I heard that we completed the last final test. The system's now fully working. And we've also put together the business model that goes with it. We're looking to launch with 1 million customers in this next year within Africa. And we hope very much that not only is this going to affect the way people communicate with basic communications with voice and SMS, but that we're going to affect a whole host of industries around us. You can imagine the impact this will have. So that's the story about myself and my company, Movirtu. And you can find more information if you go to movirtu.com. And I'd love to hear from you on how you can help us. Thank you. Thanks, Andrew.